How many people are coming?
There'll be 4 of them.
Richard, Linda, this is Jay and Gail Perry.
Thank you for agreeing to meet us.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna leave you alone. Let me know if you need anything.
You say you want to heal. Is this how?
We're not here to attack you, and we promise that. We want to know how this happened. We need your help with that.
I'm willing to help.
When you talk about blame on your part, I want to know what you're referring to.
It's very hard to answer.
Well, please try.
It's not just one thing.
Tell me about your son.
Rick Hong here for Hollywood First Look. Today, I'm with Dowd, Reed Birney, Jason Isaacs, and writer-director Fran Kranz for their movie, Mass. Thank you so much for telling this story. I've heard different sides of the story. I've never seen one done like this. Amazing.
Thank you.
Well, thanks, Rick.
That means a lot.
So, Fran, let me start with you as writer and director. These tragedies, unfortunately happen too frequently. And it's clearly like there's something that just kind of kept clicking in your brain for you to say, let me use my artistic abilities to tell this story.
Yeah, I wanted to know a way. I wanted to know how these people might move forward. I had come across, when I was in college, the Truth and Reconciliation Commission in South Africa. I'd studied it then, and I was blown away by the stories that came out of there, and this idea that the victims or families of victims could forgive perpetrators and the families of perpetrators. I was terrified by it. I didn't know if I could do it. And so I felt like these are the stories that are compelling enough to sit through in a room, just the people face to face at a table that they feel blame towards, that they feel hate towards, but they're there to work through that. They're there to work through their differences and try to find common ground in a sort of shared humanity in order to forgive or reconcile. It felt like, to me, it was the most compelling story I could think of, and I just started...
For our times as well.
Yes.
For our divided times.
And exactly. And so that's started focusing the last 3 years of my life on it.
2 things happened. One is I was told there was this story and that it was 4 people in a room, and I thought, I want to meet the madman who's come up with that as an idea for a film, because that shouldn't make any sense. And then I read this thing, and this isn't a therapy session, it's an interview, but I can fall into blame and hatred very easily. It's so easy but anything wrong with your life to think, I know whose fault it is. But hatred just poisons the person who's doing the hating. And this is a film in our very divided times. This story of these people in the room, the incident that happened 6 years before is very specific, but it could be any number of things. The fact is their daily life is ruined and compromised. And I read this thing, and it's a plea for connection, human connection in this unconnected world. And it just felt, like you said, completely gripping. I couldn't stop turning the pages, but also, incredibly emotional, incredibly truthful. And it has all those things that audiences love and actors love, which is layers of complexity. Characters saying one thing, meaning another, being really compelled by forces that only the audience understand about them and they don't understand about themselves. So it was just, it just felt like a story that needed to be told, and I feel incredibly lucky that I'm part of it.
I sat down to read it, and it just continued to land and to land and to land. And the extraordinary gift in being offered such a thing, and also awareness of the deep dive that would need to happen in an authentic way to do justice to this story, to this character, to the people who suffer in these circumstances.
I certainly have grown up in the world of the people that live their lives this way. And in a funny way, I wanted to honor them, even though he's defensive and he's rigid and not going to break. But I've seen how the consequence of that, about people who don't go there. And so to honestly portray and maybe illuminate for people watching what happens when you don't get in touch with your feelings. You pay a price. And Richard certainly has paid a price, and I think the great tragedy is at the end, he perhaps hasn't had the breakthrough that the others have had and will continue to live his life in profound despair.
The movie is Mass. You can find it in theaters now.
What would you like to know?
Everything. I want to know everything.
Why?
Why do I want to know about your son? Because he killed mine.
It's not our fault, Richard.
No!